Well, the lima beans are about spent. They're still green. I haven't been down here for 7 days because my wife has been absolutely ill for the last 3 weeks. And we might get a few more out of here. There are very few flowers, very few bees working. As you can see, the string beans are probably pretty much toast for the year. I mean, if I look down through there, if there's a few here and there might be enough on there for a meal. The tomato plants are still good, and we have had no rain, and I haven't been down here for 6 days. So I'm going to have to go over there and look at it a little closer. The 4th of July still have some. The cherry tomatoes still have some. This is the weakest end of the garden as far as growing these tomatoes. And the tomatoes here. I'll slide down a little closer. There's still cherries to pick, and today is the 26th of September. Normally we would pick these up to first frost. And it's been cool. It's gotten down to mid-40s, and it will definitely slow these things down. But there's still a bunch of 4th of July. See, this end of the garden is totally different from the other end. And the other end actually gets more water. I thought when we got down here today this stuff would be dying. I got a vine growing in here. It's the first time I remember seeing a vine growing in my tomatoes. Obviously I haven't been doing my job. I'll have to break this in half. But there are a few better boys in there still to pick. A few cherries and a few 4th of Julys. My peppers haven't been the world famous that we've grown, and due to poor planting, they don't get a lot of sunlight right here. We've only gotten a few off of them. And the okra is probably, I don't know, 8-9 feet tall. And you can tell I haven't been down here for a few days to pick the okra, but they're not all real big. But as it gets cooler, the pods seem to get a little tougher and a little thicker, and you have to pick them a little earlier than you normally would. And as far as my watermelon patch is concerned, I thumped that one, and that's going to be pickable. And I don't know if you can see it, but from this shadow here you can see lumps on it. And I want to tell you, I'm growing some world-class marigolds in the garden this year. That's one plant. And that is one plant. One little plant was put in there out of a 6-pack. And that's at least 3 feet across. And even those back in the shaded areas. Oh, there's a nice big old red pepper. But even those have grown. Anyway, time to do a little picking, but the main thing I got to do is water it, because it hasn't had water in 8 or 9 days. I really thought it would mostly be dead, everything but the okra. Thanks for watching. Talking about my marigolds, this is 2 plants, folks. It's about 5 feet across there. It's outside the fence over here. That is 2 marigold plants out of a 6-pack. I can tell you one thing, this soil's right for growing marigolds. And that one over there has been stepped on, broken down, split in half. Something dropped on it and broke half of it, and it's still big. I'll slide down here as you look through these dried string beans. And look at the size of that orange marigold. It's at least 4 feet wide at the bottom, and it's probably almost 2 feet tall. Anyway, that's it for Wednesday the 26th of September. Remember I told you that once a plant makes seeds, it shuts down and quits producing? These are the little cherry tomatoes. See these little ones? Even that little one right there, all it has to do is have a seed in it. Normally this plant will shut down. So you have to take all these little ones off, and I know a lot of people don't because they're too small, they're not going to eat them. But see right there, even though that's on a dead branch, those right there, the branch is dying, but it could send a signal to the plant to shut down. And see, these are never going to get big. See, that's one that dried on the vine, so you know that that plant was told it made seeds. You open it up, it's pretty hollow. But you'll notice that I pulled everything off here that's red, even if I have to throw them on the ground. I know I might have a seed problem next year, but it's better than have these things shut down. If I hadn't pulled these off all year, these plants would already be shut down and it wouldn't be producing. I'm just leaving the ones on here that will get big enough that I will eat. Some of those probably wouldn't taste bad if that's all you had, but the bigger ones taste better. In fact, on a cherry tomato, the bigger it is and the redder it is, the better it'll taste. But you can see my plants here. See, I missed one right there. That's why I'm walking back over it with the camera. Here's another one that dried on the plant. You know it's got seeds in it. You know it told the plant to shut down. These down here I don't worry that much about because they're pretty spindly. But they still have some tomatoes on them. There are very few flowers. That's a cold temperature. I actually had a bee out here working a little while ago. But normally we get these all the way up to frost, and the latest we picked them is December the 8th. Because it was going to be a heavy frost that night. And I think that was a couple years ago. Maybe 3 years ago. When we took them home, my wife ate them to the end of January. I ate a few of them, but usually by that time of the year I'm pretty much don't care much for tomatoes. Now it's time to pick these. 4th of July. There's something been eating on that one. I know I found 4 hornworms this year. I might have found 5, but this was a good year for not hornworms. We didn't have them in the garden. But now it's time to pick 4th of July.